Hello, TCI family, Jonathan's Refuge, all of our faithful followers and friends from around the world. I will jump right into it. It is New Year's, and it is the New Year's Eve. It's the last day of the year. So, what the heck are you going to do to stop being an idiot for next year? What are you going to do to stop being broke for next year? What are you going to do to stop running around with your head chopped off like you've done all year? What are you going to do next year so that you stop fighting with everyone that you are involved with? What are you going to do next year? You starting to get the theme? What are you going to do? Because only you can do it. Only you can make the change. Oh, you don't know. I would have had this done, but this happened. That's an excuse, and they're assholes, and everyone's got one. Okay. Oh, but you don't understand. Then this trauma happened. Yeah, that's great news. Again, it's an excuse, and it's what? That's right. And everybody's got one. Okay. So let's stop 2026. Going forward, we don't make any more excuses about why something didn't happen. We don't need to waste any breath on explaining why it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Let's move forward. And if you need to explain why it didn't happen, here's real simple. Take control of it and say it's my fault. You see, I have employees. I had an employee who didn't bill for the company and cost my firm a $500,000. Whose fault is that? Mine. I hired her. I put her in charge. That's my fault. But she did it. Doesn't matter. It's my fault. I take ownership. Nobody in my firm, at the end of the day, they make mistakes, and I do not go to my board and say, so yeah, I would have done this and I would have done that. But the employee did this. So my employee's an idiot. I remove him and I get rid of him. Problem solved. Bring in a new one. Make sure we don't do the same stupid mistakes again. You starting to catch the drift how this works? I'm the person that takes ownership of my ship. It's me. It's my ship. So it's my job to take care of it. Any mistakes that go on in it are mine. If you're the one that jumps up and goes, yeah, but Bobby did this, then you're the idiot who will be broke, and you're the idiot who will be lonely, and you're the idiot who deserves whatever it is you're getting, to be honest with you. I know you're like, wow, that's a harsh statement. You know what the world needs more of is some harsh wake up statements. We got a world out here of people that are wandering the streets aimless and have no clue what reality is. And you want to know why? It's because we gave little children trophies for showing up. You don't get a trophy for showing up, folks, in the real world. You only get a trophy in the real world when you're the winner of whatever it is you're doing, not showing up. Show up trophies are for a bunch of, well, I can tell you what it's for. All those people you see aimlessly walking around town, loitering and begging for money and all that, every stopway filled. Those are the people. Their mom and daddies didn't teach them lessons. Their mom and daddy didn't give them restriction. They didn't spank them. They didn't give them punishment by saying, if you don't get this, you don't get this. What? You mean if I don't get certain grade levels, I don't get to go out and play? When I was a kid, we had things that were called grades. If you didn't hit them, you didn't go out. You were grounded automatic. I remember hearing a child this last couple years said to his dad that grounding a child is considered child abuse. And I laughed my butt off until I actually saw that somewhere in our beautiful state, this idiotic judge in Seattle, literally in a case, said that the child being grounded for a week, being grounded, no phone, no iPads, no cell phones, no internet, no social media, no video games, just had to spend his week studying what he failed in his world on. And this kid actually charged, called police, got him CPS involved, went to a judge, and the judge actually said, "Yeah, that's punishment. That's cruel punishment." Somebody do me a favor. So figure out who this judge is, figure out where they live, and let's go say hi to the judge because they're a bunch of idiots. You're a dummy. You're a complete idiot. That's where we're at, folks. We have a bunch of idiots, people who will make excuses for everyone else around them except themselves. Yeah, but you don't know the government's doing this. Shut up. How about you fix what you're doing? In 2025, I took a look at myself personally, and I realized even I was starting to make a couple of adjustments that were not healthy. I was starting to say, yeah, but I got health problems. Yeah, I got that. No excuse in 2026. Not from Big Papa here, baby. This guy is pushing forward. I am gunning and running like nobody's business because I've got only a few years to accomplish a lot. And so that mission, that dream, that desire is on the forefront. And any failure of anybody or anything rests on my shoulders and no one else. My lack of dedication to lose the weight because I had too many health problems and I couldn't get out physically was an excuse. Is it a legit excuse? Of course, it's a legit excuse, but it's still an excuse. I could have cut back on the food intake if I can't get out to the exercise fields. Do you start to see the thing here? And people will, oh, but you got health problems. Of course I do. I'm dying. So do we all have health problems. But my health problems are going to get worse if I don't stop allowing people around me, and me included, to use excuses. So the first thing I want you to do for 2026 is rip all your excuses and rip them out. Throw them away. The second you catch yourself saying, well, I didn't do this and this didn't happen because of this, make an alarm go off so you realize you're doing it and stop it. Okay. Now, how do you make real change? How is real change made then? Because resolutions don't work. Sitting here and putting a piece of paper together that says, I'm going to lose 50 pounds doesn't work. That won't work. If you want to lose 50 pounds, you got to have a plan. You have to put together an actual plan for the next 12 months of your life. And you're going to have to put some dedication forward. We're going to have to look into an exercise program. We're going to have to look into a dietary situation. What are you eating? What's going into the mouth, the engine, if you will? What's going into your engine? What's being consumed? And then what's going on the outtake for energy going out? And we're going to have to look at all of that, break it up over a year, divide a plan. Once we've divided the plan up over the 12 months, attack it daily, hit our goals, keep our marks, check ourselves, have accountability, and then we'll hit it. But it only works if you really make the change. So, how do you make that real change? Make your big plan that I just talked about. Lay it out for the year. Where do you want to be financially, physically, relationship wise, whatever the goal is? Put it down. How to get to that in the next 12 months and make it work? Put it down. Break it all out. Create your plan for this next 12 months, but only focus on today. See, I've dropped some weight lately. I finally got back to some habits that I lost. And how I did it was forgetting about tomorrow. Oh, I have a plan. I know exactly how many calories I need to eat tomorrow, and I know how many calories I need to burn tomorrow, but I'm not worried about that. That's on my tomorrow sheet for tomorrow. So I have my year planned right now. My 2026, that was planned last month. So my year is planned. I got the charts. Now what I do is I just focus on the day. And that's all I got to do. And if I focus on the day and I take my course adjustments each week, oh Lord have mercy, the year is all but done. It's that simple, but yet it's the hardest thing you're ever going to do. Because let's be honest, I know a guy that's a very angry person, gets mad and angry easy. I've seen him be the kindest, sweetest man I've ever known. If I was to tell this person, I need you to spend one day and do nothing flawless. I don't want to hear a complaint. No, no, zero. I want you to be the happy go lucky. I want you to be the green little leprechaun dancing man. He could do it. Absolutely. I don't like people in crowded areas, especially if I don't know. I get massive anxiety. Okay. So how do I deal with it? You only got to deal with it for today. Well, yeah, but I'm going to be in Seattle for 6 days. You don't even know if you're going to be alive by the end of the day. All of us go to thinking like this. Junior over here, one of my nephew, is one of my assistants. And Junior is a young man. He's 18. So in Junior's head, he's got all the time in the world. So did my son until he died. Right? So did my dad until he just died. He was making plans to come here. I was buying tickets. He was about to come to my home and spend about a month in Washington before we ship him off to New Zealand again for a month and a half and then come back here for another month. We had this whole thing planned. Boop, done. You think you have time. You don't know if you're going to be here for 6 days. So why are you stressed out over the next 6 days when it's not here? The 6 days aren't here. Do you know how many times I've been somewhere and said I was going to be somewhere for 6 days and the plans changed and I was there for 1 day or I was there for 30? It doesn't make the difference if it's more or less. I don't have to survive 30 days of hell or stress or anxiety. I just have to get through 1 day. There's a great program in the world called AA. It's not the only solution, by the way, for those that are alcoholics. There's programs that are amazing out there, but it's probably the most broadly used one and known one. And in Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the tools they teach you is you don't have to be sober for life. You don't. What do you have to be sober for? Just today. I just got to make it to get to bed tonight. That's it. One of my friends is an alcoholic. He's been doing the AA program 40 years, I think it is. 42 years. That's a long time. And I said, "Do you really still crave alcohol?" And he looks at me and he goes, "No, not at all, actually. I really don't." And I was like, "But so you still just like throughout the day, do you don't get any drinking? Like, I want to drink." He goes, "No, it probably lasted the first 20 years. And then one day I just realized I have no desire to drink anymore. I still go to meetings and I still do all that stuff. And I sponsor others to help them and give them a hand as someone gave me a hand." That's like interesting. And so here I see a man who does something every day. His belief is, I don't need to be sober for life. I just need to get through today. Wow. What if that worked for losing weight? What if that worked for being a little less angry in your life? You know, when you're angry and stressed, you release a chemical in your body that actually kills you. It's destroying you. It's the leading cause for heart attacks. It's the leading cause for erectile dysfunction. It's the leading cause. I can go right on down the road. It's the second leading cause in strokes. This chemical comes out when we get stressed, high pressure. Whoa. 2026 for me, eliminate the stress, eliminate the pressure. But let me ask you a question. Why is it people keep saying, I can't accomplish this. I can't learn a new language. I can't lose weight. I can't get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I can't get off of this program because I'm on parole. There's all these excuses. There's why things can't happen. You just got to do and be flawless for 1 day. If I offered every single person watching this $100 million, make it a billion, $1 billion. And all you have to do is wake up at 6 a.m. today and until 10 o'clock tonight. So what's that? That's 14 hours, 16 hours. For 16 hours of the day, you have to be flawless. Smile at every person. When someone flips you off, you take a step and go, God bless you, and continue on in your journey for the day. You don't lose your temper once. You shake hands and look in the eye to everybody. You help an elderly person out. You you do kind. You have to do your job, your normal life, whatever that is, but you do it smiling. Not one complaint about traffic this day to work. None of that. Every single one of you would take the deal, and every single one of you would have that flawless day. Just like I had a friend with the Tourette's, and he was offered something so huge that I knew he would accomplish this, but he had to go 1 day without his tick. Now, some would say, You're cruel. Yeah, I had a tick once, folks, and someone taught me a technique, and it worked. So don't tell me I'm cruel. Huh. I ended up getting over my tick, and I helped the young man do the same because I said, You just for 1 day can't do the tick for 1 day. You just got to go 1 day. And then I gave him the prize that he would get. That was it. The next day, he woke up. He's like, called me. Well, I haven't done my tick yet. I'm like, well, you don't have to. Just not today. You can do it tomorrow. Just not today. And he's like, really? Yeah. Do it tomorrow. Just not today. And it went on for about 6, 7 years that he'd call me. Hey, I haven't done the tick yet. Oh, that's cool, man. Well, you can do it tomorrow. Just don't do it today. but I have problems. I struggle. I need stop. Whatever your excuse is, stop using it. Break your excuse habit. Because you and me, we're the problem. It's no one else. My house managers at Jonathan's Refuge, I've got Big Mike and Paul and Cameron and Darren, and these four leaders manage the Homes of Hope at Jonathan's Refuge for our organization, and I have the strongest confidence in all my leaders. And so what's interesting is when I'm asked, can any of my leaders accomplish anything? I know they can. There are times where I see them fail and I see them struggle in life. I see them get upset or I see them get worked up. But if they want to, they can overcome anything. And the majority of the year, they do an amazing job. These are the techniques we're teaching people in our organization. We're teaching this simple system. You don't have to do it tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Plan it, organize it, talk about it, but you don't have to sit there and think about it's my next 40 years of my life. Like my friend with sobriety. If you sit there and think, I got to be sober for 40 years, oh my God, you know how many times I got to go to my mother in law's house or my father in law's house? That's a nightmare. I need 2 drinks for that. I'm serious. So that's why people go and drink. That's why they go eat. Because I can't do this. Because you're putting too much in there. When my son passed, he had all this crap I remember hearing about. Well, I got this and I got this and I got that. And it was all these things. And it was like a 7 year drama that he's focused on. And I'm like, okay. But you realize you don't have tomorrow. It's not here. Unfortunately for him and for us, tomorrow didn't come. So you see, all the stress, that last part of his life was stressful. For what? For absolutely nothing. You want to live free? Because that's what I get a lot from people. How do you live like you do? It's because you're rich. I'm not rich, folks. I gave all my money away. I live off of $1,750. I think I just got a pay raise of like $50 a month. I think it's like an extra 500 a year. I'm loaded. I control companies that make millions and millions of dollars. Yes, but it's not mine. We're caretakers, a board and the executive staff. We're caretakers of this gift from God. But they ask me how I live so free, and it's real simple because I just live for today. I plan for tomorrow. That's why we're here. That's why financially our firms and our nonprofits and our church and all of these things that we do is successfully staying its course because of all the planning and the execution. But we live for today. So as I close this message up, and I'm going to finish up before our 20 minutes is here, I want you to hear my heart. I want you guys, as I show you this picture of Belle, Belle's one of my therapy dogs for our company. And Belle is a 104-pound white German Shepherd. And this dog is amazing. This dog actually has, we've been able to prove science that by just touching this dog, she said, I'm going to show my belly, Dad. I'm going to show my belly. By just touching this dog and taking your blood pressure, it'll drop 10 to 15 points within seconds of doing it. This dog has his gift, okay? And I want your year to be peaceful. I want you guys to get sleep, like our little 5-month-old puppy, Nala. I want you to be blessed. I want you to go out there and see this beautiful world behind us. I know it's a little hard to see because of the glare and the sun and everything, but I want you guys to get out there into that world. It's gorgeous. I look at my 18-year-old nephew and I think to myself, don't make excuses like the rest of the world. Get out there and explore it. Plan for the future. Go to college, get degrees, get all those things. Open your 401ks, open the IRAs. I put almost all my money into investments. So I'm not telling you not to blow your money. I'm telling you to live your life for today and accomplish your goals by just, you only got to do it for today. You want to be a happier person? Stop being angry just for today. Today in the car, on the freeways, all the traffic and nightmares, my nephew's my witness. God, it was no biggie. Why? It's just today. I just got to get through today. And it's made This is the secret. I've learned this secret so long ago. And to master it, I'm here to tell you, 50 years old, been working on this secret my whole life. I haven't mastered it yet. But if you're ever wondering how I'm so peaceful through all the chaos and the drama and all the BS, it's this little secret that God gave. So I love you guys. God bless you as we ring in the new year. May God's blessings be upon you and your family. May God's countenance, may her essence be on you. May this year in 2026, my prayers and hopes from my heart and that of my family and our staff and the College of Bishops and everyone else, I pray that your year is filled with love, laughter, and living life in the present. May God bless you. We'll see you next week.